How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. We're back with another video. Today we're going to be working on the Kubota L3400. We have an LA463 loader on this. We got 2 cylinders in the front here we're going to be rebuilding, and we're going to do these on video so you guys can learn how to do them yourself. And for you guys out there saying you can't do them by yourself, well, we're going to show you that you can do them by yourself, and they're not as hard as you think. As long as you don't have a bunch of scarring in them and they're in good shape, there's no reason why you can't put new seals in them. They're pretty easy to do. So we're going to get them up on the table and get them started here so you guys can see how to do them. So the first thing that we did was we come in here and broke this piece loose. And this is the piece that we're going to need to unscrew to get our piston out. This is actually a friend of mine's tractor, and I'm here to help him and do the video. He already has everything broke loose, so we're going to go ahead and start taking these cylinders off. But the main thing is we broke this loose while it was on the tractor because you got more leverage and it's going to hold it still for you. If you guys look in the description down below, I'll make sure I leave a link for the tool to take this off with too. You clean the outside of it real good, you're not going to get it on the inside, so that's a good thing. You don't want garbage inside of your cylinder. Okay, now that you got the cylinder cleaned up, what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and loosen up this piece on the front here. And like I said, we broke it loose on the tractor. That way we don't have to worry about trying to get it loose out here. So we're just going to spin this off. Now we're probably going to get a little bit of juice out of this, a little hydraulic fluid, but we'll get it cleaned up. Now don't forget, you guys, when you're doing these, and if you think you may forget what you're doing, get that cell phone out and take some pictures. Pictures are a really good thing to have when you're doing this. So we're just going to basically slide this cylinder out, or slide the shaft out. And this is the piece we're just going to put our seals on, right here, this piece right here. Now just to give you a little close-up of what seals are in there, you can see you have a couple in here. I think there's 3 seals in here. You have 1 rubber, 1 plastic, 1 rubber, and then you got an O-ring up here. You can see that. And I always like to do the video, not only for you, but for me, for my reference. If something happens and I forget how something went together, I can come back to my video, turn it on, and I can see what I have. All right, the end of this shaft, you want to make sure you get a good impact socket. This is a 27 millimeter. We're going to stick it on here, and we're going to use the impact wrench to get it off. I'm just going to see if it'll bump off, Rick. It comes right off. We're good shape. So sometimes this guy here could be a little bit tight getting off. I'm going to show you this. We have another seal on the inside of this. It's going to be a little bit hard to see. To focus in there, we're going to have a seal down inside there we're going to have to take out. You can see that little seal right there. So we have 1 seal here, 1 here, and 1 on the inside. Now we got that piece out. We'll just go ahead and slide this one off. And there's going to be seals inside of this piece too. Now we have a few seals on the inside of this one. This camera don't want to focus real good. Looks like there's a few, but yeah, you can see you got a bad one right there. See how this one's tore up right here. But that's just our dust cover. It's just basically the wiper for the, but we want to make sure that's good too, because if it's not cleaning your cylinder off, then it could scar the inside or tear up your other seals. So we have a few in there, none on this side. As you can see, just these two up here. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and start pulling these seals out of the inside of this one. And some of these could be a little bit tough to get out, but it shouldn't be too bad. And you just have to work at them. These will be your hardest ones, the ones on the inside. And I'll show you that I actually got the tool to put these seals back in with. We used them before. What I'll do is I'll stick all my old seals off to the right hand side over here so I know what I've taken out. Like I said, some of these could be a little bit of a pain to get out. So in this cylinder, these are the two seals that go on the inside. All right, I was just a little bit worried about the way I pulled this seal out to make sure I get it back in right. And I had to back my camera up to see, to make sure I get it in the right direction. And I see my two little pokes here where I was trying to get the rubber seal out. So I know I was pushing down in it. So these two seals are gonna go on just like this. So we're gonna set them off to the side, both of these standing straight up just like they were. And then now we're gonna start taking the rings off of here, off of this here. We have two O-rings off on here. It looks like there's a round O-ring right here. Take that one off. And then we have just a flat one here. And we'll get that one off. Like so. Pretty easy, but that's the way they would go on. The round one, the flat one goes on first, and then the round one goes on second. So we'll set them off to the side. Now we're going to take off this seal right here, which is another O-ring. We'll go ahead and get it off. And then what we're going to do now is, since we got all this off, we're going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit, and we're going to start putting the seals back in this. So this piece will be done, we can stick it out off to the side, and we won't have to worry about it until we're ready to put it back together. Now you guys can see, this is where I laid my old ones, and I got them laid out here. And then if you look right up here, I got my new ones laid out right here, exactly like these ones here. So we don't get them messed up, and we don't put them on the wrong way. And over here, I just got this one setting off to the side for right now until we can get the first one finished up. We're cleaning it up. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start putting this this piece back together, put the seals in it. And we're going to start off with the one down in the center here, because this is going to be our hardest one. And I think in some of my other videos I showed you guys a video of these tools and how they work. And I will leave a link in the description for this tool also, and the tool that you take this off. And this is, I do believe this is going to be called a spider wrench. Right here, you're going to use this. But I'll leave the links in there for these, both the tools that you're going to need to take these apart. So we're going to go ahead and get this one put back in, the center one. We're going to put a little bit of oil on it. And we're just using regular hydraulic fluid that would actually go in this cylinder anyhow. So this tool here, you're just going to take it and put both of your prongs like this, slide it up in here. And it's going to look like it's going to destroy this thing, but it's not. It's not going to hurt it. And then you're going to twist it like so. So when you're done, it's going to look just like that. So we're going to squeeze it together. We're going to get it down in here and drop it into its place. Now once you get it in there, you're going to have to use your finger and push it back in its slot. And as you can see, we got a brand new seal in there, really nice seal. So we'll do the same thing with the other one. And you guys seen a few of my videos where I've done some other hydraulic cylinders. And so far this Kubota cylinder has actually been the easiest one. that I've done. And this one here, we're not even going to use the tool. We're just going to slide it down into its slot and pop it in there. So now we got these 2 new seals in here, and they look really good. So we'll start on the other ones, and we'll start off with the big one that's going to go all the way on the bottom. And if you have a hard time with these, match them up with your old one. Make sure they're exactly the same size. And to be honest with you, there's so much of a difference in them, you can tell without matching them up. We're just going to put a little bit of hydraulic fluid on this one, and we're going to do the same thing. Slide it down on here. Pretty simple. Then we're going to start off, we're going to use this one, the flat one. Remember the flat one? It's going to go on next. If you back the video up, you can see which one went on where. Just want to be easy with them. Don't give them too much of a pull. We don't stretch them out or anything. Now we have one left, one O-ring left. We'll set it on here. We want to make sure that that one on the bottom is pushed down. You want to make sure it's pushed down when you put this one on. And if you guys would, make sure you're wearing rubber gloves. As you know, I hardly ever wear rubber gloves. I have a hard time wearing rubber gloves because I can't feel anything. So, but it's best to wear your rubber gloves. This piece is done. We won't have to do any more to this piece. So we're going to set it off to the side. We're going to set it out of the way. And then we're going to start on this one. And I haven't taken any seals off of it because I want to make sure that I get the seals back exactly where they're supposed to go. So this is going to be our next one. We're going to be taking it off. And to be honest with you, I think that next seal up in there might be our hardest one because I've never taken one. It actually feels like it's metal. But we're going to find out because it's got to come out there. This one right here. I don't know what it's made out of. I'm going to see here. Well, it's not metal, that's for sure. So I'm going to have to sit down to do this one. Let me make sure you guys are in the view here. I don't know exactly. I've never taken one of these out before. Man, I'm telling you, that's going to be a tight seal right there. It's going to be interesting to see how we get it back on. I've never done one of these before, so you guys are out there that done them before, you're probably saying, hey, there's probably a tool for this, but I've never seen it, so it's definitely going to be a hard one. Because I think I pretty much ruined that seal just by taking that one off. We're not too worried about these ones getting them out, we just want to make sure that we can get the new ones in. So, we know this one goes in first, this one goes in second. And this one feels like a hard plastic. And they're both sitting right over here. This is them. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to get this guy cleaned up, and then we're going to come back and start putting our seals back on. Only thing we got left to do to this one is get the seal out of the inside. We have one O-ring in there. It won't take much. We'll go ahead and pull it out. And there's your little O-ring. Not too much to that one. Alright, we got this all cleaned up now and ready to go back together. And if you got any debris inside these, like some stuff that may be gumming it up a little bit, I would use a brass wire brush, because I think a brush is not going to hurt your steel. So we got the O-ring on the inside. We're going to go ahead and put the new O-ring back on the inside. This one you probably won't, you aren't going to need no tool for this. You're just going to take it and slide it down in there with your fingers. Get it to seat good. This we don't want to use any sharp objects, that's for sure. So we got that seal in there. Looks really good. And we did it with our fingers, so no sharp objects. We're going to put this wide one on, which is pretty simple, and it's split, so it could be opened up but don't stretch it too far. Just get it up on there just enough to get it into place. Probably should put it in some oil. We'll just dunk it down in some oil and make sure there's oil underneath of it on top of it. So that one's pretty good. Now the hard one, and me and my buddy here was looking at it. The easiest one's going to be our O-ring, so we'll do it. The hardest one's going to be that next ring that's going to go over the outside of that one. Now, I told you this thing didn't feel like rubber, that's for sure. It feels like a very hard plastic. I'm going to try to put it in some oil and see if I can get it down on it. I don't think it's going to be easy at all. We're going to give a little pressure on it and see if we can get her to start down over it. Okay, I don't want to destroy it. Okay, me and a friend of mine, the gentleman that owns the tractor, we sat down and figured out just how we're going to get this seal on here. And as you guys know, the last time on the video, this is actually quite a few days later because we had to order a special tool to get this little ring on. And you guys seen me trying to force it down on here, and it just wasn't going to go, and I didn't want to damage the ring. So what we did is we took our time and took all the seals back off of this. So when you guys are building this, put this O-ring in first and then work on getting this seal in, because when we put the tool down in there, it went all the way through and hit our O-ring, and we don't want to damage the O-ring. We don't want to damage that. So I'm going to show you the tool. There's 3 pieces to this tool, and this piece here is the one that you're going to stick on here. And then you're going to slide your ring down on here. Then you're going to use this to push that ring down into the slot. And then this piece here of the tool, and you can see it's tapered. It's got a real good taper in there. This is going to calibrate that ring. Once we put it on there, it's going to squeeze it into place, and it should hold it where we need it. Okay, I picked this tool up from Freedom Racing. You can go to freedomracing.com and check out their tools. They got a lot of tools, and this is one that you're going to have to do this cylinder for this Kubota tractor. So if you guys are interested in the tool, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below, and you'll be able to just click on it and go to their site and pick up this tool. Okay, we're getting ready to put this down on here. As you can see, we got plenty of lube on here, and we're just using the hydraulic fluid that we're actually going to put in the cylinder when we're done. And I think that'll work out really good for that. So we're going to attempt to squeeze this thing down on. And I'll show you when we got done. This thing is not real stable. It wants to wobble. So what we did is in the table, we drilled just a small hole in there, just so that thing would kind of be a little bit sturdier. So we're going to try to get even pressure on this thing and see if we can get it to go down on here. Oh, a little faster than I wanted it to. Okay, our seal is in, and that little hole is right there. We drilled in the table to let this little piece right here go down in the table just a little bit. So we're going to push this back out, pull it back out. And now we're going to take this piece. This is our calibrator. We're going to flip it over. We're going to give us some juice on this and see if we can squish this bad boy right back down in where it's supposed to go. You want to try to keep it straight as you can. Okay, we're in there. Now what that's going to do is push the ring back in the shape it was before we put it over this big cone. Definitely tight in there. So now you can see our ring is pushed back into place. And it looks good. Looks really good. So that's the tool you're going to need. Right here it is. You're going to need the tool to put this together. And here's where I got it from. Don't forget, I'll leave a link in the description down below. Freedom Racing. Check them out. Okay, so now that we got this seal on, we can go ahead and put the rest of the seals on and not have to worry about it. So we'll go ahead and pop these seals on to the other ones that we had taken off. Pretty simple. And then this is going to be done. We're going to go ahead and get ready to put this cylinder back together. Like downtown. So we got both of our pieces done now, and they're ready to go back on the cylinder. We're going to get this thing together and see if it works. And for all you guys out there that say that you can't do this, you're going to see it done. We're not professionals. In no way we are professionals. We are just like you guys, trying to save $1 and hoping we don't spend 10 trying to save $1. But I think we're going to do a good job, and I think this is going to work out great. So let's get this thing put together and get it on the tractor. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start putting this thing back together. Pretty simple here. We're going to get this guy in here. Now this might be a little bit tight. We'll get it in here. And this one has a pretty good taper on it, so that makes it nice. And then we're going to go ahead and get this piece here put on too. So we're going to go ahead and stick this one on. Let me get a little bit more juice. And you guys, I would say use a pair of rubber gloves. You know I'm not good at wearing the rubber gloves. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to get the nut put on here, and this did have Loctite on it, so we're going to throw a little bit of Loctite on this guy, and what I'm going to do is we're going to throw the pin in it, and we're going to stick it on the machine just to tighten that up so we can hold it. And I'm just going to put a little bit of Loctite on here. You don't need much more than that. What do you think, Rick? Good. So we're going to go ahead and get this tightened down. Now we looked online to see if we could find a torque on this, and we couldn't find a torque. So we're going to go ahead and get this set up, and we're going to tighten it down as tight as we can get it without breaking it off. And we're going to go ahead and give this guy a tighten. Okay, I think that's good. We got a good snug on it. We got the red Loctite on it, and we do have a lock nut up there. I think it'll be just fine. This thing's even gonna line up. We might have to push it down. So he's going to wipe that cylinder off real good and make sure there's nothing on it. And then we're going to take it out there in some dirt and lift up a few buckets of dirt, work it a little bit, and make sure there's nothing on that cylinder when we get done. Okay, you can see our cylinder. And no leaking up underneath. Nothing on my finger. So now we got a good rebuilt cylinder. And I hope to come back in a few months and do an update video on that cylinder, just to prove to you guys that you could rebuild your own cylinders without taking them to a professional. Just watch my video. It'll prove it to you. All right, everyone, that's the rebuild on the Kubota cylinder. Now, what'd you say, 984 hours? It's got 984 hours on it right now. And we're going to wait just a little while, let him work this tractor. He's got a new home going in, so he's going to be working a lot. And we'll come back after we got quite a few hours on it. We'll show you how the cylinder's doing and just kind of give you an update on it. So I would like to tell everybody thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time.